Hey there, treasure hunters! Welcome back to Hollywood Buzz. Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating world of diamonds. Did you know some of the world's most stunning diamonds can be found hidden in riverbeds and volcanic rocks? In this video, we'll explore how these rare gems form, where to look for them, and the thrilling stories of discovery behind them. So, grab your gear, and let's embark on this sparkling adventure together.
Okay, so you think you know white gemstones, right? Diamonds,
Mm,
pearls, maybe moonstone here or there.
sure.
But get ready to have your mind blown. We're diving deep into a world of white gems that are so bizarre, so rare, so unexpectedly beautiful that you'll wonder why you ever settled for plain old diamonds. We've got an article here from thepearlsource.com
Okay.
called 39 Types of White Gemstones, and let me tell you, it's a treasure trove of information.
It's amazing how much variety there is within a single color category.
Yeah.
We often get stuck on the obvious choices, but there's a whole universe of white gemstones out there just waiting to be discovered.
Exactly. And speaking of obvious choices, we've got to acknowledge the elephant, or rather the diamond in the room.
Right. Diamonds are definitely the rock stars of the white gemstone world.
For sure.
Their brilliance and hardness make them a classic choice, but they're just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah. And since our source is the pearl source, it's only fitting that we move on to pearls. I've always been fascinated by how they're formed. I mean, a living creature creates a gemstone.
It's true.
That's incredible. Does that mean that no two pearls are exactly alike?
You're right to be fascinated. It's a truly remarkable process. Mollusks, like oysters and mussels, create pearls as a defense mechanism. When an irritant, gets inside their shell, they coat it with layers of nacre, and over time, a pearl is formed. And you're absolutely right, no two pearls are exactly the same. Each one is unique, with its own size, shape, luster, color, and origin.
I've heard that luster is a big deal when it comes to a pearl's value. What exactly is luster and why is it so important?
Luster is basically the way a pearl reflects light. A pearl with high luster has this amazing, almost iridescent glow. It's like a mirror, reflecting light back beautifully. Luster is one of the key factors that determines a pearl's value, along with its size, shape, color, and even where it was formed.
Okay, that makes sense. And speaking of color, I thought pearls were, well, pearly white, but I see some on this list that have hints of other colors.
You're right, pearls come in a surprising range of colors. You can find pearls with rose, ivory, champagne, and even green overtones.
Wow.
It all depends on the type of mollusk and the environment where the pearl formed.
Pearls are clearly more complex than I realized. So moving on from the fascinating world of pearls, let's talk about another gem that can be surprisingly diverse, quartz.
Quartz is a real chameleon of the gemstone world. It comes in a dazzling array of colors, including white, and what's really cool is that some of the most popular gemstones are actually just varieties of quartz.
Wait, really? Which ones?
Well, think of amethyst, that beautiful purple gemstone. It's actually just purple quartz. The presence of trace elements can dramatically change the appearance of a gemstone.
I had no idea. Amethyst is one of my favorite gemstones, and I never knew it was related to quartz. What are some other colorful quartz variations?
Citrine, which is yellow, and aventurine, which is green, are also members of the quartz family.
Wow, so when you look at a piece of white quartz, you're actually looking at the foundation of a whole rainbow of gemstones. That's pretty cool. But speaking of gemstones that play with light, we can't forget about moonstone. It's always captivated me with its ethereal glow.
Moonstone is truly mesmerizing. That glow you're talking about is called agularescence, and it's caused by light scattering within the stone's structure.
Okay.
It creates that cool, almost otherworldly shimmer that makes moonstones so special.
And didn't the ancient Romans believe that moonstones were formed from solidified moonlight?
They did. And you can see why. It's a poetic image that perfectly captures the moonstone's mystical allure.
Absolutely. Our list of white gemstones goes beyond these well-known names. I'm seeing some intriguing ones I've never even heard of, like agate, grandidierite, and scholasite.
These lesser-known gemstones are some of the most fascinating. Take agate, for example. It often has a milky white appearance and forms within the cavities of volcanic or metamorphic rocks.
What?
Talk about a dramatic origin story.
Volcanoes and gemstones. That's an unexpected combination. What about grandidierite?
Grandidierite is incredibly rare and highly prized for its striking blue-green hues. It can occur in white or gray as well, but it's the blue-green varieties that really make it stand out.
So it's a bit of a chameleon, too. And what about scholasite? I'm intrigued by the note here that says it has a wormy quirk.
Scolecite usually appears white or colorless, but when you heat it, it curls up like a worm. The name actually comes from the Greek word skolex, meaning worm. It's one of those quirky little details that make exploring the world of gemstones so much fun.
Okay, you've officially piqued my curiosity. That's definitely going on my list of gems to investigate further. And speaking of intriguing quirks, we can't forget about the opal with its incredible play of color.
Opals are in a league of their own. That dazzling display of flashing rainbow hues, known as play of color, is truly unlike anything else in the gem world. And while we often associate opals with vibrant colors, many have a white or milky blue base color. It's like a blank canvas for nature to paint its most spectacular light show.
I love that analogy. And speaking of opalescence, we have another moonstone variation on our list, rainbow moonstone. How is it different from regular moonstone?
Think of rainbow moonstone as the bolder, more flamboyant cousin of regular moonstone. It has a similar adular essence, but with a rainbow-like iridescence. Instead of a single ethereal glow, it flashes a spectrum of colors.
Ooh, that sounds stunning. What's the story behind its name? It sounds like it has a pretty magical history.
Well, during the Middle Ages, people believed that opals, including rainbow moonstone, could protect vision and improve memory. They even thought it could make you invisible.
Invisible. I could definitely use some of that magic sometimes. Okay, let's do a quick rundown of some other unusual white gemstones that caught my eye. I'm loving this journey beyond the familiar.
Let's start with oakenite. It forms these incredible, fuzzy, cotton ball-like formations. They're incredibly delicate and look like something straight out of a fairy tale.
Oh, how cool. It sounds like something you'd find in a magical forest. What else is on our list of unusual suspects?
Next up, we have dendritic opal. This one is known for its distinctive fern-like patterns, which are actually mineral inclusions within the opal. It's like having a tiny piece of nature frozen in time.
I'm already imagining these in a beautiful collection, but I have in confession, I've always assumed that all white gemstones were super expensive. Is that true?
That's a common misconception. While some white gemstones, like certain diamonds and pearls, can command high prices, plenty of affordable options exist. Take howlite, for instance. It's often used as a substitute for turquoise and is much more budget-friendly.
Okay, that's good to know. So you don't have to be a millionaire to appreciate the beauty of white gemstones. But before we go full-on gem shopping spree, let's step back and consider the bigger picture. Gemstones are beautiful for jewelry, but I know they have other uses as well.
Absolutely. Gemstones have a long history of practical and industrial uses. For instance, quartz, which we discussed earlier, is used in electronics.
Right.
And calcite is a key component in construction materials. Even alabaster, that soft, milky white stone, has been used for sculptures and lighting for centuries.
Wow, so white gemstones are literally all around us, even if we don't always realize it. That's incredible.
It really highlights the versatility and importance of these natural wonders.
Okay, before we move on to part 2 of this deep dive, let's talk a bit about the symbolism and significance of white gemstones. What kind of vibes do they generally give off?
White as a color represents purity, innocence, new beginnings, and spiritual enlightenment. It's often associated with clarity, simplicity, and peace. White gemstones amplify these qualities, offering a sense of calmness, protection, and hope.
So if someone's feeling stressed or overwhelmed, surrounding themselves with white gemstones might be a good way to restore balance and find some inner peace.
It's certainly worth a try. Many people find comfort and solace in the energy of white gemstones. They can serve as a reminder to slow down, breathe, and connect with your inner self.
You know, I've never really thought about gemstones in that way. It's fascinating how they can have such a profound impact on us.
It speaks to the power of nature and the deep connection we have to the earth and its treasures.
All right, I have a challenge for you. Out of all the white gemstones on our list of 39, which one is the rarest?
That's a tough one. But if we're talking sheer rarity, it has to be grandidierite. Remember, it's actually more valued for its blue-green color than its whiteness, but it can occur in white or gray variations.
Right.
Its scarcity makes it a true collector's item.
Wow, a true gem in every sense of the word. This has been an incredible journey so far. We've gone from pearls created by mollusks to gemstones that can make you invisible, and I feel like we've only just scratched the surface of this fascinating world.
We've only just begun. There's so much more to explore.
Stay tuned for part 2, where we'll delve even deeper into the history, lore, and unique properties of these sparkling wonders. Welcome back to our white gemstone adventure. In part 1, we explored some of the surprising variety and hidden beauty of these gems, but I'm ready to go even deeper. What's next on our journey?
We've talked about the science and origins of these gemstones, but now let's Step back in time and see how white gemstones have captivated humans throughout history.
Ooh, I like that.
They've played some fascinating roles in different cultures.
I'm always up for a bit of time travel. Where should we start?
Well, pearls, for example, have been treasured for millennia. Ancient civilizations from Egypt to Rome adorned themselves with pearls as symbols of wealth, purity, and power.
It's easy to picture Cleopatra dripping in pearls. Did other cultures have strong connections to pearls as well?
Absolutely. Pearls held significant cultural and spiritual meaning in many ancient societies. In China, for instance, pearls were associated with wisdom and immortality.
Interesting.
They were often used in traditional medicine and believed to have healing properties.
I can see why pearls have held such allure for so long. They have this timeless elegance and mystique about them. But what about other white gemstones? Did they play a role in ancient history too?
Oh, definitely. Moonstone, for instance, was highly revered in ancient Rome and Greece.
Okay.
It was believed to have a strong connection to the moon and feminine energy, and it was often used in rituals and amulets to enhance intuition, fertility, and emotional balance.
It's fascinating how these beliefs have persisted through time. Even today, many people associate moonstone with serenity and inner peace. I've actually heard that some people believe moonstone can help with sleep and reduce anxiety.
There's definitely a strong association between moonstone and tranquility. Whether or not it has actual metaphysical properties is up for debate, but there's no denying the calming and soothing energy that many people feel when they hold or wear moonstone.
So these gems have been captivating humans for centuries. What about more recent history? Have white gemstones made their mark in modern times as well?
Absolutely. White gemstones have continued to play significant roles in fashion, culture, and even politics.
Interesting.
Think of Queen Victoria, for instance.
Okay.
She was a huge fan of opals and often wore them in her jewelry. This sparked a trend among European aristocracy, making opals incredibly popular in the late 19th century.
That's amazing. I can imagine how those opals must have shimmered and sparkled in the candlelight of those grand Victorian balls. And speaking of royalty, wasn't Princess Diana known for her love of pearls?
Yes, she was rarely seen without her iconic multi-strand pearl choker, sometimes called the Swan Lake Suite.
Oh, wow.
It became one of her signature pieces and a symbol of elegance and grace. It's a great example of how white gemstones can transcend time and continue to inspire awe and admiration.
It's fascinating how certain gemstones become so intertwined with historical figures and events. They really do tell a story, don't they?
They absolutely do. Each gemstone has its own unique journey, its own history that's been shaped by the people who have mined it, crafted it, and worn it. It's all part of the allure.
Speaking of allure, we talked about symbolism in part one, but I'd love to explore that further. What are some of the deeper meanings associated with white gemstones? I know white often represents purity and innocence, but I'm curious to hear more about how that translates to gemstones.
You're right. White is often seen as a symbol of purity, innocence, new beginnings, and spiritual enlightenment.
Right.
It's associated with clarity, simplicity, and peace.
Yeah.
And white gemstones embody those qualities beautifully.
Okay.
They offer a sense of calmness, protection, and hope.
So if you're feeling stressed or overwhelmed, surrounding yourself with white gemstones might be just the ticket to restoring balance and finding some inner peace. It's like having a little piece of serenity right there in your pocket or on your finger.
It's certainly worth a try. Many people find comfort and solace in the energy of white gemstones. They can serve as a reminder to slow down, breathe, and connect with your inner self.
You know, I've always been drawn to white gemstones, but I never really thought about it in that way. It's amazing how they can have such a profound impact on us, even if it's just on a subconscious level. But with so many different types of white gemstones to choose from, how do you know which one is right for you?
That's a great question. The best approach is to trust your intuition.
Okay.
Look at different gemstones, hold them, feel their energy. Which one speaks to you the most? Which one resonates with your personal style and intentions?
I love that advice. It's not just about what looks good, it's about what feels good, what connects with you on a deeper level.
Exactly. It's a personal choice. Some people are drawn to the classic elegance of pearls, while others prefer the mystical allure of moonstone or the calming energy of white quartz.
Right.
It's all about finding the gemstone that aligns with your energy and enhances your well-being.
I'm starting to think of white gemstones as little allies, each with their unique strengths and energies that can support us in different ways.
That's a beautiful way to put it. They're more than just pretty objects. They can be companions on your journey, offering support, inspiration, and a reminder of your own inner light.
Okay, so we've explored history, symbolism, and even personal connections. But before we move on, are there any misconceptions about white gemstones that we should debunk? I know a lot of people think of white gemstones as being delicate or boring, but I have a feeling that's not the whole story.
You're right, there are definitely some misconceptions out there. One common misconception is that white gemstones are all delicate and easily scratched. While some, like pearls and opals, do require a bit more care, others, like diamonds and quartz, are incredibly durable.
So it's important to do your research and understand the properties of each gemstone before you make any assumptions.
Exactly. And another misconception is that white gemstones are boring or lack personality. As we've seen throughout this deep dive, that's far from the truth. Each white gemstone has its own unique story, its own captivating beauty, and its own special energy to share.
It's all about appreciating the subtle nuances, the hidden depths, the quiet beauty that unfolds when you take the time to truly look and listen. Who knew white gemstones could be so complex and fascinating?
Right. It's a reminder that even the most seemingly simple things can hold incredible depth and wonder.
Okay, I'm feeling inspired to explore the world of white gemstones even further. But before we go too deep down the rabbit hole, let's bring it back to the practical. We've talked a lot about jewelry, but I'm curious about other ways to incorporate white gemstones into our lives. Are there any creative ways to use them beyond just wearing them?
Absolutely. Gemstones can enhance our living spaces just as beautifully as they adorn our bodies.
Right.
We've already mentioned alabaster being used for lighting, but there are so many other possibilities.
I'm picturing those fuzzy oconite formations we talked about earlier. I bet those would look amazing in a terrarium.
That's a great idea. They'd add a touch of whimsy and ethereal beauty to any space. And don't forget about agate. Its banded patterns and milky white hues make it a stunning choice for bookends, coasters, or even decorative goals.
You know, I've always loved the look of crystals in home decor, but I never really thought about using other white gemstones in that way. It's a whole new world of possibilities.
It's all about finding creative ways to connect with these natural wonders and integrate their positive vibes into our daily lives.
This deep dive has been such an eye-opening experience. We've explored the science, history, symbolism, and even the practical applications of white gemstone.
And we've only just scratched the surface.
Stay tuned for part 3, where we'll delve into the exciting world of collecting white gemstones. We'll share tips, tricks, and resources to help you start building your own collection of these sparkling treasures. Welcome back, gem lovers. We've journeyed through the history and symbolism of white gemstones, and now, in this final part of our deep dive, we're getting down to the fun part, building a collection. I have to admit, I'm already feeling inspired to start my own white gemstone treasure chest.
It's exciting, isn't it? There's something incredibly satisfying about curating a collection of beautiful and meaningful objects.
Totally. But where do you even begin? The world of gemstones can feel a bit overwhelming, especially for a newbie collector like me.
I understand. It can be intimidating, but it doesn't have to be. The key is to start with a solid foundation of knowledge.
So knowledge before bling, that makes sense. What are the essential things a new collector should keep in mind?
First and foremost, do your research. Don't just buy the first sparkly thing that catches your eye. Take the time to learn about the different types of white gemstones, their properties, and what factors determine their value.
So we're talking about things like clarity, cut, carat weight, all those technical terms I hear gem experts throwing around.
Exactly. Those factors influence a gemstone's beauty and ultimately its price. But remember, value is subjective. The most important thing is to choose gemstones that you personally find beautiful and meaningful.
That's good advice. A collection should reflect your personal taste and passions. But I have to admit, the whole world of gemstone grading and certification can be a bit daunting. How do you know if you're getting a genuine high-quality gemstone?
That's where reputable gem labs come in. Organizations like the Gemological Institute of America, GIA, provide independent certifications that verify a gemstone's authenticity and quality.
Okay.
If you're investing in a high-value gemstone, it's worth getting that expert opinion.
Right.
It's peace of mind knowing that you're getting what you paid for.
So a certification is like a gemstone's passport verifying its identity and origin. That makes sense. But let's say you're not quite ready to invest in a high-end gemstone. Are there ways to start a collection without breaking the bank?
Absolutely. Collecting can be fun and accessible at any budget. You don't need to start with a flawless diamond to build a meaningful collection. Many beautiful and affordable white gemstones are out there just waiting to be discovered.
That's music to my ears. So where does a budding collector begin their treasure hunt? Where can we find these white gemstone wonders?
Local gem shows are a great place to start. You can see the gemstones in person, chat with dealers, and often find unique pieces you won't see anywhere else.
Okay.
It's a great way to immerse yourself in the world of gemstones and learn from experienced collectors.
I love the idea of a gem show. It sounds like a treasure hunt with air conditioning. What about online options?
The internet has opened up a whole world of possibilities. Reputable online retailers offer a vast selection of white gemstones from all over the world. Just be sure to do your due diligence, read reviews, and look for certifications to ensure authenticity.
Right. It's important to be a savvy online shopper, especially when dealing with precious stones. So let's say we've done our research, we found some gems that speak to us, and we're ready to buy. Any last-minute tips before we hand over our hard-earned cash?
Don't be afraid to ask questions.
Yeah.
Inquire about a gemstone's origin, treatments, or anything else that's unclear. A reputable seller will be happy to provide detailed information and answer your questions thoroughly.
That's great advice. It's always better to be an informed buyer than to have regrets later. Okay, so we've built our collection, we're admiring our sparkling treasures. How do we make sure they stay radiant for years to come? What are the best ways to care for these beauties?
Gemstone care is essential. The first rule is to store your gemstones separately to prevent scratching. Soft pouches or individual compartments in a jewelry box are ideal.
I guess diamonds might be tough, but other gemstones like pearls and opals are a bit more sensitive.
Exactly. And when it comes to cleaning, a gentle approach is best. Warm, soapy water and a soft brush will do the trick for most gemstones. Avoid harsh chemicals or abrasive cleaners as they can damage the surface.
So no tossing our precious white opals in the dishwasher.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
And if you're ever unsure about how to care for a specific gemstone, don't hesitate to consult a professional jeweler. They can provide expert advice and cleaning services tailored to your gemstone's needs.
We've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive, from the science behind these gems to their rich history and symbolism, and now we've even learned how to build and care for a collection. I feel like a white gemstone expert.
You've been a great student. It's been a joy to share my passion for these incredible gems with you.
I have to say, I've definitely caught the gemstone bug. Who knew there was so much to discover beneath the surface of these sparkling wonders?
That's the beauty of it. The world of gemstones is vast and endlessly fascinating. There's always something new to learn, something new to discover, something new to add to your collection.
Well said. So, to all our listeners out there, I encourage you to embrace the joy of discovery. Keep learning, keep exploring, and keep seeking out those hidden gems, both literally and metaphorically. You never know what treasures you might find.
And who knows, maybe someday you'll be sharing your own white gemstone expertise with the world.
That's a wrap on our deep dive into the world of white gemstones. Thanks for joining us on this sparkling adventure. Until next time, happy gemming.
Thank you for joining us on this dazzling journey today. Whether you're a seasoned prospector or just love learning about nature's treasures, we hope this video inspired you to explore the world of diamonds. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Hollywood Buzz for more fascinating content about nature's hidden gems. And remember, adventure is out there, it might just sparkle. Please like, comment, and subscribe my channel.